Coming up on First at 4, we'll take you live to Harlan County, where officials say water levels are dropping after a significant lake leak yesterday. And we are hearing from a man who reportedly tackled a gunman yesterday at the Kansas City Chiefs parade.
Plus, the weather turns wintry by tomorrow night. Those details on the way as Mountain News First at 4 starts now.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News First at 4.
Good afternoon, I'm Steve Hensley. First at 4, we are continuing to keep an eye on a significant leak at a lake in Harlan County. We first reported yesterday that the privately owned Llewellyn Lake began leaking under a roadway, threatening several homes. WYMT's Madison Carmouche is there with Judge Executive Dan Mosley for an update. Madison?
Good afternoon, Steve. Most of the people in this community decided not to evacuate after a state of emergency was issued yesterday evening. After discovering the leak, officials diverted runoffs that flow into the lake and began using a pump to redirect excess water into Clover Fork. Judge Executive Dan Mosley says the priority at this point is to get the water to stop draining into the sinkhole.
It has dropped the lake level by about 5 to 6 feet already, and we're seeing that the area that the sinkhole has formed at in the lake is not taking as much water as it was yesterday and even overnight and this morning because of the level dropping.
Mosley adds that there is no worry of flooding at this time. They are watching the weather conditions as well as water levels. But for now, live in Harlan County, Madison Carmouche, I'll send it back to you.
All right, Madison, thank you very much. We'll continue to watch this closely, and I know you'll have more coming up tonight at 6 o'clock.
Well, we are tracking a spring preview across the region on this Thursday. Plenty of warm conditions, but clouds are increasing as that next weather system is not too far away. Let's take a live look from our studios at WYMT. You can see some more clouds back in the distance. That current temperature, a balmy 61 degrees for the middle of February, up to 64 in Manchester, 64 also in Harlan, 61 for Jackson, London, 62 over in Irvin for Estill County. So we are tracking some well above average weather on this Thursday. Be sure to enjoy it, because a cool down is on the way. Up on the radar, most of us are dry. We talked about possibly a few sprinkles on Thursday, and those were happening mainly along and north of the Mountain Parkway earlier this afternoon. But for most of us right now, we are dry under a partly sunny sky and more mainly dry weather on the way as we go into your Thursday evening. Those temperatures are cool. Once the sun sets, most of us fall into the middle and lower 40s and some 30s on the way as you wake up on Friday. But all eyes on your Friday as another busy forecast is on the way. We are dry as you wake up on Friday, but that moisture begins to increase by Friday afternoon. And as cooler air settles in by late Friday, we could see a rain to snow changeover. More details on that winter threat, plus the first call for snow coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
Cameron, thank you. Police say one person is dead and 22 others were injured in a shooting yesterday after the Chiefs parade and rally ended at Union Station in Kansas City. At least 11 children were taken to the hospital. Their ages range from 6 to 15. Children's Mercy Hospital said 9 of the children had gunshot wounds. The Kansas City Police Department said 3 armed people were taken into custody for further investigation. Trey and Casey Filter are taking a look at the video of their heroic actions in Kansas City for the first time after returning home. They and their 2 sons had the same plan as everyone else at the victory rally, celebrating the Super Bowl win of their favorite football team. However, the event turned tragic at the end of the rally when someone opened fire into the crowd. The video captures the moment Trey, along with another man, tackled a gunman to the ground.
He and I we were looking at one another, you know, like, hell yeah, like, we got this guy. And so then people were still yelling, he's got a gun, he has a gun. And I didn't know if if that was the one that he spilled. I didn't know any of that. So our focus was to keep him down and then, just kind of make sure he didn't go anywhere.
Now, in that video, you can see Casey picking up the gun. She told reporters, quote, "I just saw it and I just thought I needed to get it out of the way somewhere," end quote. Coming up on First at 4, we take a look at former President Donald Trump's legal woes, which cases were on the docket today, and how they could impact the upcoming election.
Plus, the first call for snow is heading your way right after this break.